So this is what I say this to everyone, and I will say this again. I'll say it out 100 times. This is my country. I'm born here. I lived here. I'm ready to give back everything that I've earned because it has taught me everything and it has made me. And I want to give it back. Right.
When somebody is coming to UAE, what is your advice?
When you come to UAE, find a job. Don't waste time. Hustle at the same time. Don't care about anything else. Start it. Network. Push it.
And what is like some of the challenges that you faced when you launched here?
Is how important network is.
And I think UAE is the biggest example. We saw the 2008 crash.
Yes.
We saw 2020 crash. Look at us, UAE today. What a comeback, That's what I keep telling everybody. Why you need to come to UAE? We know how to fall and we know how to stand out and we do it beautifully.
And what is like some of the challenges that you faced when you launched here?
I think what I underestimated maybe is how important network is, especially here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, network is important everywhere you go, but here it's like
It's too much.
extremely,
essence.
everything is like opening doors. It's just through relationship. So building the relationships, building that
There's a
network.
very famous word called wasta.
Yeah, exactly. I've learned that as well.
What's the last?
Wasta.
Wasta.
Wasta
Yeah.
means influence.
Okay, Wasta.
Yeah, this is a very
I'll
important.
remember that.
If you have wasta, you have everything.
You
Right?
have everything.
That was something I underestimated, I think, because I thought, we can get there even without, right? But it is really important.
That's Western type of thing.
That's Western type of
We
thinking.
will
Yeah,
sort it out
we will solve
somehow.
it.
We will.
Yeah. And especially for us, I mean, we have a product that's kind of really sales-led, so you have to have a lot of face-to-face. You have to have the
You need
interaction.
to work with the big developers.
Yeah, you have to work with big developers, all enterprise. So you need to get in, right? So that's something I understand. But all in all, I think for me, the most struggle that I had was as a founder. And as you said, it's a lonely journey. You have so much ups and downs. Your motivation goes up and down with every success or every rejection, and you go like this. So for me, what I've learned is, for me to be able to stay grounded, is I always have to take a step back, and then I kind of remind myself, like, okay, where was I 6 months ago? And I compare it to where I am now, and I can see that the progress that I've made, and I really have to kind of take that moment, because you forget, you're into the business, you kind of forget what you've accomplished, and also look forward. What is the goal? What was the goal before, and where am I now? And so to have those 3 moments: where did I start, where am I now, and where am I heading? And as soon as I get that picture in my head again, then I can, go again. That's a trick that I have every time I'm kind of stuck, right? Yeah. So I really love doing that, because it shows you not only it's a mirror, right? So it shows you exactly what you've been struggling with, and also sometimes you're so focused on a particular problem that you kind of have to step away to see the solution, if you understand what
Yeah,
sometimes,
the aerial view.
Yeah, the aerial view. Yeah, you have to step away to see the solution.
What I see I mean, I was struggling with that also. With most of the founders, business owners, and friends who are having their business, they just see the tree, cannot see the woods, cannot see the hill, the meadow, and everything. And this zoom in, zoom out is one of the characteristics or traits of the founder. So, founder and CEO are different types of personalities. We will understand that definitely, because of the skill set and everything. And it's very rare that same person it is, but it's somehow it's very challenging to zoom out yourself, like you said, to remember yourself about the vision, then zoom in into next step, then zoom out, then zoom in.
The eagle's eye.
Eagle's eye,
exactly.
Exactly. What I find challenging here in terms of business and starting a business here, as much as we mentioned that diversity is a good thing, that's something challenging for a guy from the West, handling, and this diversity differences can sometimes have roots all the way down to interpersonal, cultural things, etc. I had a couple of people that I brought into a company for some positions without understanding the dynamics between different nations, and that created not to say problem, but tension. And I was not sure, man, why? I mean, on paper, Western type, on paper, everything fits, but somehow it
Did not
just
work out.
couldn't work out.
Yeah.
Not work out. It was like, for no obvious reason, even my guys in the team were not aware of it, but I saw that it was like very, very tough. And then I came to realize that, yes, you need to know these things and you need to learn how this thing work between the nations, cultures, not good or bad, but simply different understanding. And that's one thing. Second thing is that I'm a lot of people that come to work, it's simply the way they think from their backgrounds, it's completely different. I mean, it's completely different. So many times I had to go below the basics to start the training, to bring people up to the level where we can basically start. And it's not like they.
It's
don't
because
know.
of it's an early stage market.
It's simply the way they were brought up was different. So different type
It's the principle. It's the working principle. You know, Nick, I am 100% with you. And I'm sure, you know, where I look at us, our working ethics are completely different from a lot of the younger generation.
Understanding, working ethics, cause and effect, commitment. And you see the effort in a colleague, but he simply cannot make it because it's completely different. So in a way, as like a manager or senior or whatever, these challenges I have never had in my career. Okay, because I was never working with this diversity of cultures, nations, whatever. So, but that's then you understand it's your challenge point. That's your growth point. That's where you should like improve.
Yeah.
And that also makes it really, really okay. It can be tough, exhausting, but it's really it's a good feeling.
It's rewarding.
It's a good feeling.
This
It's
is what I
rewarding.
always tell my team. You know that if you work in UAE, that means you work with the entire world.
Yeah.
Right. And this is
Basically,
always we see this kind of differences, right? Some this is same example which I was mentioning. Some I wanted to communicate you only by email, right? And no, a lot of people wants on WhatsApp, and the guys who are fresh come to the new setup where they may worked in other countries. They're like, what's happening?
Yeah,
Right.
voice note. What is with this voice note?
Voice notes. Yeah.
What's with this voice note?
Okay, I must admit that I'm not a great fan of doing business through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
But the whole country runs on WhatsApp.
Yeah, I know, but it's simply the ceiling is so low if you keep it that way.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I understand many people just that's enough, and that's the way they know how to do it, and they did excellent. I mean, almost impossible job making business on WhatsApp. For me, that's like amazing. But if you want to grow, you need to upgrade. You need to introduce systems. You need to introduce some formalities as less as possible in order to make this base for the companies to grow. I mean, it's when I came to the company and what I saw in many companies, there were some people doing something somewhere in some way, and that's it. So there was no like KPIs, no SOPs, none of these basic systems so we can expand. Okay, so if you have like positions, 1, 2, 3, it's okay. It doesn't have to be like a big thing but if you don't have these basic things like a foundation, you literally cannot expand. I mean, it's impossible because it will be demanding only just more and more people, which means more and more control, layers, and that's when you basically lose this agility, the speed, and what you need in 2025.
Yeah.
So this, Dubai businesses, by my opinion, is going that way. Many people are don't want to do it. WhatsApp is enough. But whoever gets it, he will win. This is what I can almost guarantee, because I see companies that like made that shift in head first, then informally, and they're winning in time because they just shift to the next gear, and when they see it, it will be next, and they will be growing exponentially. Because like I said, it's impossible. I have 86 WhatsApp groups. I'm down from 114. And it's impossible. It's time consuming. It's impossible with voice notes, impossible to search, no analytics. Forget it. frankly speaking, forget it. Because, for example, even my AI agent is struggling to keep up with all the notes and compiling everything. It's simply good for start.
Yeah.
It's instant, but okay, there are 3 levels of communications which you have intercompany. That's instant, that's like email, and that's like in planning, like long term. So instant is like what we have to communicate right now. And I'm teaching my team to communicate more. Don't write thank you, just put a thumbs up. Thumbs up means this. When you put flag for the finish, that means it's finished. Let's zip the time, because time waste in Dubai business is enormous just because of the WhatsApp, among other things.
WhatsApp is
So
and also some customers like Russians, they want us to speak to you on Telegram, right? And Chinese, I have a Chinese customer. He's like, when you send a message he say, no, I'm not available on WhatsApp. Send me on WeChat.
WeChat, yeah.
I am lost, so, just adding to this, another pain point, and I always advise this to, I'm a part of a lot of business, forums and a lot of business communities. I always tell people, don't feel shy to hire a business coach.
Yeah.
It's very important. So I did that in 2021. I could see my business skyrocket, and then it took a dip down. And then 2020 came, all e-commerce companies were like booming. And in 2021, we again saw a small shift because people's mentality was like, oh my God, it's like, how you have children, the last ring bell, and then you have the kids just go run out, or you've just, let the animals out of the zoo. It was that way. People were just not ready to shop online in 2021. Why? Because they had just got this freedom to travel, to go out and everything. And they were just, so all the e-com businesses took a slight dip. And then that's when I started thinking that, there's something wrong. And I was happy to hire help, right? And the first thing my business coach told me was that it's you and your husband who's the partner. You need to learn to leave business back in the office.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't take it home.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it becomes personal.
Yeah.
And then, the second thing he told me was, at that time I was already in conversation with, paid tabs to take a job and stuff. And he told me, take it. He's like, the day you exit from this business and you start looking at it from an aerial view, you will be able to see which floor of your building needs restructuring, needs some work.
Yeah.
And the third thing I learned leaving my business was I was emotionally attached to my business. So whatever I liked, I felt my customers liked. However, my partner saw the business as business. He was able, so, me being a woman and he being a man, I'm ready to accept that he was able to do a much better job for a business that is, very, it's, everybody says, or, it is, it's labeled to women, skincare and makeup. He did a much better job. We grew from 2021 till today, we're growing 30%. So from 21 to 22, we grew only 30%. But 22 to 23, 23 to 24, we grew nearly 45% year on year. And I was shocked to see the numbers. And I was like, that's why we did not qualify for the small business, by the way. And I was shocked, that what is changed here? And then when I sat back, every 6 months I would sit with him. The one thing he told me was, because you being the founder, you were emotionally attached to your business. Something that Nick just mentioned. Yeah. So you should learn to get a working operating head or a working CEO. If you see a lot of startups around the world, right? There was a founder and then there's a working CEO. And the founder was able to found it, took it to a certain stage, took it from 0 to 10, and then from 10 to 50. From 50 to 1,000 or 50 to 100, you need a third person. You need an outside person. That's why I'm a very strong believer, whether it is in your relationship or it's in your business, a coach can do a lot of things because he's giving you a third eye.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Whoever is listening to this, if you're an entrepreneur and you're stuck, hire a business coach.
And what is like a right quality for a business coach? Because, there are a lot of people claiming to be a business coach.
Oh, yeah.
So I suspect their experience, right?
Coaches.
This is where sometimes, you
Am I allowed to put in a free plug? I'm not going to put in a free plug. But you know what? It is very simple. see what was the struggle. Rather, have at least, and any good business coach who's a confident business coach will be happy to give you 2 free sessions, and you will understand your compatibility. So I've had 2 business coaches. My first one, if he came in front of me, I'm sorry, but I would just not even recognize him. I would refuse to recognize, because he did not come and add anything new. He just kept looking at it, and he just kept saying, you need to do this, you need to. I'm like, I know this. Tell me something new. And then I had a business coach who came in. He gave me 2 free sessions. And my first session with him was for shisha, like we do it, the UAE style. We went for shisha, and he told me, this is the first and the last time we're meeting for shisha. I don't like it. I don't like shisha. Secondly, it's a waste of time. Thirdly, the smoke is going to, going to block your thought process. I was like, are you kidding me? We all do business doing shisha, right? He told me his story and how he went from zero to hero. And I think that's very important. When you know someone who's been down there, right? Like Nick said, his bankruptcy taught him. So when you have a zero to hero story, he will be able to, duplicate it for you. I say this many a times, and I've done this many a times. And I think UAE is the biggest example. We saw the 2008 crash, right?
Yes,
We saw
yes.
2020 crash. I think everybody saw the 2020. The whole world saw it. Look at us, UAE today. Look at the property
What a
prices
comeback.
today. What a comeback, That's what I keep telling everybody. Why you need to come to UAE? We know how to fall, and we know how to stand out, and we do it beautifully. For a country like UAE to win the expo, compared to all those big countries and big geniuses and everyone, it was a huge thing, right? It's small. I still remember during school days, when I would go to India, my cousins would ask me, so do you also cover yourself? I'm like, why would I cover myself? It's Dubai. Like, oh no, but this is what we thought it happens. I'm like, and
The
today
cultural.
these are people who come here and want to have the best holidays. They want to stay they want to go to the Burj Khalifa. They want to do this. They want to do that. You know what I mean? So this is what I say this to everyone, and I will say this again. I'll say it out 100 times. This is my country. I'm born here. I lived here. I'm ready to give back everything that I've earned, because it has taught me everything, and it has made me me, and I want to give it back, right? And this is the place where the government is doing so much for entrepreneurship. You look at it, just because our ruler and our crown prince himself is an entrepreneur. When a small idea like the Dubai chocolate, your pistachio kunafa chocolate
Most famous example.
can become a world famous. So you go to any country today, they have their own version of Dubai chocolate. This just shows that innovation and ideas can become viral out of here. So come, set up your business here. The country can make you viral.
And what is your 2-3 advice, or somebody's coming, because a lot of people are eyeing from outside to come here, right, and start here, and what is your go-to?
So I would say this to somebody: when you're coming here for the first 6 months, take a job, right?
Good one.
You need to learn
Good one.
the culture. You need to learn how to do things here. Correct me, because I think all of us have gone from jobs to businesses, and then back to jobs, and then businesses, right? I run 2 businesses today, and I'm running a job, and I have a job as well. I always say this: take a job, learn how to do the work. Work for a startup, work for a corporate. You will learn what are the different things, what are the policies and everything, and then start something small and look what is the need of the hour, right? The Tabbies and the Tamaras just didn't become famous.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they became because they were the need of the hour in 2020. So the BNPLs. Today, what's very famous is the SME financing. These small business
Lending,
loans
yes.
and everything.
Because the gap is huge. SMEs wants to grow.
Yeah, we want, and Glamazil has done this couple of times with one of the famous players, right? We've done a couple of inventory financing. We take it for 6 months, we pay a small fee, and we return it. The same thing if I was to go to a bank, they would literally ask me for everything. They might even ask me for, a medical report of myself, that are you fit enough to take a loan? I always say this. But that's one thing. So I always tell people, you're coming to UAE, come here with a job. You need to have your plan A and plan B. Just don't come here and start up and then say, I didn't know it was so tough to get a bank account here. You need to have something, right? You're just not going to get funding just because you've come from here and you worked in that startup. So come here with a job, do a job, so you'll understand the culture, you'll understand the working ethics, and then start a business. That's a very
interesting.
thing. And the second thing is look at what is the need of the hour. What do people really want now? Right? Your business is a super success is because it's the need of the hour. We need businesses like us need audit. So
Yes.
that ways. And the third main thing is have empathy. You know, that's very important. I know it's your business, but you can't have that arrogance. I know some of the, I've worked and I've networked with so many of the CEOs and things, but when you meet them, the empathy, the attitude of gratitude is so high. That's what makes you very successful.
Yeah.
So have that attitude, of gratitude. And I
Interesting.
think that just solves everything.
This is very, very interesting point. I had a different story that I came here and, jumped off the flight and started selling. I didn't have my company for 3 months, not registered. So finally my friend said, Shafeekh, you need to take a bank account now, right? I can't do the bookkeeping for you. And the whole money is coming to my personal bank account. It gets blocked. So then I decided to vendor register a company and...
But that's the very essence. Everybody think that starting a business means register company. No.
Get customers
Sell
first.
first. Then you figure out how will you get the goods or the services or whatever.
Yeah.
However, the crazy that might sound, it's literally like that. What I've learned to apply, speaking of coaching, I never had a coach, and that's something which is coming in my home country recently, and the startup hubs and this startup culture, that's literally in last 1 to 3 years, you had to figure out on your own. And this is why many guys from the streets were far more successful than us guys from the school, because simply he had to figure out how to sell, then do everything else afterwards. Okay, but I figured out that the mix would be the winning combination. Okay, so since I don't come from the streets, I didn't grow up in the streets, but grew up in very rough times, you learn and you pick bits and pieces from this other mentality. Also, since at my time we were serving the country as well, you also bring some of that experience, and somehow you figure out you self-coach. And it's really tough because it costs a lot of everything. But in a way, that was the winning combination for me and a couple of my friends that we were starting out at the same time. Nobody to teach you, but all the bad lessons were there. Every mistake was costing. I remember in one of my early companies, the main principal client was basically bankrupt. He was not paying us for a month, and my people did the job, and I made every possible way, whatever I could, to pay their salaries on time. And nobody cares about it. Just like you said, it's lonely time. Nobody cares until you're successful. Then they either say, okay, you were lucky, or you were, oh, I knew it, etc., etc. But it's very tough. But I think it's very tough in every country. Okay, it's just a matter of what level of toughness you can go with.
Yeah, you can fight it.
You can fight, or which is your level of susceptibility to failures, etc. Borrowing money from friends and family, maybe owning them, staying on to them.
How much risk are you willing to take?
I remember one friend of mine asked me when I was speaking about all these stories. I mean, all this stress, etc. I said, man, how can you handle it? And then I realized you become somebody else.
You have a cold heart.
No. You literally become somebody else. This is what we spoke
yes.
climbing in terms, because you have to be profile by profile by profile. I think all of us are a completely different person than 5-10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and becoming aware of that is really a big deal. So then you can start to handle it. And then you can sometimes start to push it before it comes naturally through struggle, etc. So that's when your entrepreneurial trip becomes a little bit handleable. You can I need to push myself through this because it will eventually come up as a second type of person, and I will be handling. That's like climbing the ladder, but you don't know where's the ladder, where's the next step, and where are you. I mean, but it's exciting. It's really, for me personally, I think none of us would be here if this was in some way. But this is where where this slight of craziness part in us comes into play. I don't know why I didn't quit. I have no idea.
I think there's a lot of fun in building, right? And tinkering, building. That's a quite
100%. And the struggle that you're mentioning, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, you recognize that the struggle is actually part of your next phase, right? You have to go through this transformation to get to that next phase.
I told a couple of times, it's very interesting. Sometimes it's too interesting.
Yeah.
But you need to go. I mean, you
and you don't know what else to do. That's the biggest problem, right?
Exactly. You know, I was listening to a podcast just yesterday while walking, right? When I go for my evening walks, I listen to something or the other. And in that, you know, the guy was just saying, being in business is like playing a game of snakes and ladder. You know, you're taking the ladder up and you're so happy. And the next thing you know, the snake bit you and you're down, right? And then you're again climbing up. And so he told this so beautifully. So, you know, these are points I usually write down and I send it to myself, right? So, like you said, you know, you're going up the ladder, but you don't know where the ladder is and where it's taking you next. And you're looking for it. And the next thing you know, you're bit by a snake and you're down there.
But the thing is, like if we go a little bit into philosophical base of entrepreneurship, you shouldn't really care whether you fail or get success. So you shouldn't give too much emotions into both of these types. You should just do and go. Okay, and this is what I see, especially with few of my younger kind colleagues or friends or their kids, is they want to prepare everything then go. And I said, no, just do it.
Wake up and create every day.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's very hard not to think. It's very hard not to start like kind of preparing. This is not what we were taught. Learn a lesson, go to an exam, and that's it. On this side of the table where we sit is first you get a lesson, smack your head to the ground. If you get up, and if you're wise enough, you return back, oh, that was the lesson. So again, it's personal, internal thing above everything else, because it's completely different type of thinking. And one guy, I don't remember who it was, said it in very beautiful way. Entrepreneurship cures from all diseases that was given to you by schooling system.
Yeah.
So
true.
It's medicine.
So true.
In school, you had to do it all by yourself. In entrepreneurship, that's the worst thing you can do. Okay, so ask questions in school. Don't ask questions. Go learn a lesson, etc., etc. So this is why I guess for most of the people, including myself, it was very difficult to start entrepreneurial journey from all the schooling and all this like bubble, which was good, but simply is not good enough for today. Go to school, get a job, like Kiyosaki says. It's the one of the, I must say, worst advices that you can give to a kid. And I teach my kids to make a business. They made first online shop. They are 9 and 11 years old.
Super.
They got a 3D printer and they're trying this, testing out. Kids want to buy, go do it. School teachers are getting crazy, but I don't care. And I think we need to make aware our next generation that this has to be normal thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this has to be a default. School is good, great, but it's not enough anymore.
Yeah.
For me, it's not enough. It simply doesn't.
And Nick, one of the things you mentioned in the earlier conversation, right, about meeting a lot of people in UAE when you come here. So, you know, my most of my very good kind of networks I built actually here. And these are some people you never meet in your life, right? If you are in North Dubai. And they're kind of like, you know, some people have mentored me, like I've taken a lot of mentorship and sessions from this, you know, these guys. And they're like, you know, I'm here for a month and then they kind of flow from here. And they'll never come back to you unless there's some events or something.
Yeah.
And that quick period of time, they kind of like, you know, move you next 15 years. So your whole thought process, ideas, you know, they're just like 2-3 instant conversations, just like change
Yeah.
complete your perspective. And if you are not in Dubai, you'll never meet this
But-
kind of.
Yeah, but there is one moment that is really crucial in having a mentor, etc. This is how badly you want to learn. In very old days, because I'm a great fan and used to train a lot of martial arts, in the old Japan, you want to learn from a master, so you become a master. And you're usually had to agree to work whatethat's master gives
Says.
you for a couple of years before he says, okay, you're worthy the
Yeah.
teaching. So you can buy all the mentors in the world with all the money if you expect them to make out of you something. Unless you're eager to learn, like to suck everything, it will be at best like halfway there. So if this understanding that knowledge comes from outside is only, I mean, it's not that, at least from my experience. You need to have it. You need to have that, okay, everybody say passion, but you need to have something that pushes you, and it's usually the desperation. Desperation is one of the biggest factors that put people from zero to hero. I made best of my businesses and everything, the money, when I was desperate, which means I wasn't thinking and I was very eager to achieve something. And I didn't care how, what, why, etc., etc. So expecting that creating a company, getting the funds, having the mentors will get you there per se, I don't think it's entirely accurate unless you have this thing
Desire.
in yourself. So it's a mix of desire, ambition, and yes, you need to be a little bit of, in a psychic way, like focused, not to take any different word. You need to be a little bit of maniac also.
I think you need
Otherwise you
conviction.
will
You need
not.
conviction as well. You need a
You
lot
need
of conviction.
Yeah, but you need to have this like almost manic want to do something, and that's either something that's built or something that you pull from some bad times or the good times. Good times are seldom great inspirers and teachers.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we all experienced it. At least I did. Achieve success, everything, and that's like a slow corrosion.
Yeah.
You
Your
need to have-
circumstances mold you towards some kind of
Yeah. So
outcome. Yeah.
it's a mix. It's definitely a mix of some characteristics that are not usual in people, but everybody can do it. I will say that as long as I'm alive, anybody can make it, but you cannot make the same business like Shafeekh or any of us. You will make your
own.
either
Your
version
own
of
way.
Your
something.
own version. Your
Because-
own, what you're good
version.
at. Yes. So true.
So
true.
that's that's one of the crystals that you
Because until
that's
unless you
created.
have a passion and obsession to that particular thing, you will not
It's-
make it to
You'll
the
not make
last
it.
right.
It's more obsession.
Yeah, it's
Passion is like a romantic
Obsession.
type of thing. Oh, it's passion.
The serious
it's
obsession
obsession,
has to
yeah.
be there, because otherwise you will get bored over a period of time.
Not only that, you will have so many opinions from other people. If you're not passionate and obsessed by what you want to do, you're gonna go everywhere.
True.
This is where this part you shouldn't care comes. You shouldn't care what anybody
you shouldn't
says. But literally up to that point that many people call you delusional, crazy, whatever.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
That's a very good sign.
That's a good sign.
That's the best sign. So, I worked at The Entertainer. That was my first job. I was her first employee, back in 2001, 2002. And, when we would go to restaurants to sign them up, they were like, madam, who's going to use this? Nobody's going to use this. And there came a time in 2007, 8, we had the biggest of the biggest chains reaching out to us, ready to pay dollars to just be a part of it.
Interesting. They're one of the biggest now. Like everybody in UAE knows the brand.
Yeah, if you buy a Samsung phone, you get an entertainer with it. You get a HSBC card, you get an entertainer with it. So of course, it was her, like he said, it was the consistency, the passion, the obsession to make it. Because, she came here with, and it was her first thing by herself as well, right? And you need to have that obsession that I am going to make it, I am going to take it there, break it, make it, and I'm going to... But if you don't have that, then you're going to wrap up quite quick, And like makeup was my calling. I love makeup, like even right now before starting, I do have my gloss on and everything. That's me. So, it was just, easier for me to make it what it was. You know, we in this Feb 2026, we are 11 years into the business.
Wow.
I think we are the only, or rather amongst the few, which is net profitable. You will see it. You know it.
Shafeekh knows.
Shafeekh knows it
He
all.
knows
So
everything.
he's like, yeah, she is. She's saying the truth. So we are amongst the very few e-commerce companies that has never seen a burn day. We've been completely net profitable, and that's how I learned. Right. And like you said, school teachers, but today even the schools and the colleges, I've been to so many colleges, and I've spoken at quite a lot of events at colleges. And when I see what they are going towards and what they are teaching now, it's just like, why was this not happening at my time? Today the school teaches you basics of everything at a very foundational level. I know this because my nephew, who's now 19, or he'll turn 19 in December, he actually they had a mini Shark Tank kind of a thing in their school.
Cool.
And he won it.
Interesting.
Oh. But that's here.
That's here. So, education also, I think it's happening everywhere. My niece, she's 20 as well. She just turned 20 last week. And I just recently saw on her Instagram, she's doing something, it's a lot into creativity. She's very creative, And so she's gone and she's done some ad shoot or some video shoot for Oakley. And I was just looking, at first I couldn't understand what that was. But when it hit me, I was like, oh my God, look at the focus and what they're trying to, portray out of it. So, I think now the colleges and the schools from a very basic level are teaching a lot more, And I think what is very important, is for everyone to learn financial independence. I think everyone should be taught that, I think, from grade 1.
Financial literacy. This is
Yes.
But I don't think that's entirely possible. Why? Because financial literacy for entrepreneur is basically way of thinking. Okay, we see the opportunity. We know how to put the idea with all possible outcomes. Depends on how experienced you are into something. And that's not schools function as a teacher's kit. School functions as similar as army, as let's say hospital, etc. It was created like 100+ years ago to do everything en masse. En masse means you need standards, and standards means that you need same thing for everybody who are pretty similar. And entrepreneurship is highly individual thing. Okay, there are some like traits. Okay, you need to know a little bit of accounting, about business thinking, and this, but that's like basic Lego parts. But what will you create? It solely depends on you. You cannot teach people, not in an effective sense, the creative thinking unless you have conditions where they can express that and build upon that. And school is really tight with that because they cannot do that with 30-40 kids. It's impossible to have like this individual. This is why schooling at home or tutoring or mentorship has way better results. Schools are designed to create a product, which is really cool, really okay for the system, for the institutions, for the companies. But I'm really not sure up to what point can it be teaching entrepreneurship. I see there are like some entrepreneurship curriculums, bachelors, etc. But most of the entrepreneurship is experience, emotional.
But I think I agree with you. But I think there's a combination there because what you see, the shift is happening.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
And I think that's the business mindset. I think what we should learn our children is to identify opportunities.
Exactly.
Because once they see that, I mean, you'll need to have basics. You need to have proper basic language and, the subjects that we all taught. But we need to also learn them. And I think I see it in my daughter's school, for example. They have to do some kind of portfolio where they have to come up with an idea.
Yeah.
They have to solve a problem that's an actual problem.
Yeah.
And they have to work on this project the entire year. And it's part of their education. So, and then she's like, okay, what am I going to solve? What are the problems that I see?
Sparks the curiosity. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
now she's curious. Now she's paying attention. So now she's walking around
Aware.
everywhere. She's seeing, oh, maybe this is a problem I want to solve. Before that, there was, and in our time, this wasn't the case. It was just,
Gano.
that's it.
No, I think even in UAE, a lot of schools are changing the way they're running.
changing.
So
Yes,
much.
you-
UAE has
here
got-
it's-
Even the
completely
school I
different.
went to, so this makes me laugh. So I went to Indian high, like I said, I'm born here. So I went to Indian high school, and then I started Glamsel. In 2017, I met one of my old teachers, and she was like, "Listen, I know you run a business. I know a very good girl. Can she intern with you? I want her to learn from you and stuff." And this girl came for internship. I was shocked when she was talking about the same school that I went to, and I was like, "Are you serious? This all happens in IHS today?" And now, I have a friend who's, my colleague at Urban Legend. His daughter is studying there, and he tells me things, and I'm like, IHS?
Are we
Our
speaking
school?
the same school?
I'm like, are we all talking? But, it's also the entire education system,
Yes, that's
Especially
crucial.
UAE has changed.
Yes.
No,
They're very,
UAE,
very
UAE.
adaptive.
I know about the schools in my home country, in the country where my kids live, which is Switzerland. It's a big struggle. It's almost impossible. They're so down to the core with this. There are some things here
Small
and there,
changes, small changes.
small changes.
The change velocity is not high.
But system still demands, or the way of thinking, I don't know, or the guys who are in charge are still into this. And like I said, it's very hard to implement, not to speak about the budget. But here in the UAE, this is what I similar read a couple of weeks ago about these things. And I was like, wow, that's really something, because they understand the future.
And
They
don't
understand
forget,
this.
it comes back to the competitiveness of this country. Everyone, it's a very high demanding country, and the parents of all those kids are all 8 of 10 is business. So
Exactly.
they're
Yeah,
actually demanding this also from the
Yeah.
school. So you see
Yeah.
that it works through the entire
Exactly.
system.
And of course, you have to also understand that we're like, a school has so many different, the cultural difference, everything, and the child is getting, molded right from the foundation to live and to, to grow into this environment and the expo environment. I'll always go back to the expo reference because, there were so many people, so many different cultures together, right? And we all came together. So that's what, and I think schools are doing, now the newer curriculums and everything that I read through, or I've seen my niece and nephew. Oh my God, I'm like, why was this not there when I was studying?
Yeah.
They're teaching so much. There are so many extracurricular activities. They're trying to get them to do new things. So, yeah.
And Adil, when somebody is coming to UAE, what is your advice? As what are go-to things, and what are the mistakes they should avoid?
Yeah, I think everyone has their own journey, to be honest. It's very difficult to give advice. I would say, yes, I agree with what you said. First, take a job, because just to learn about the country. I think most of us did that, because you'll just crash and burn, I think, if you don't do that. And I think also what you said is try to sell the product first before building. I didn't do that, by the way. So I'm the prime example. I didn't do that. And I had this conversation with someone. He said, you're doing it the wrong way. I said, why? He said, no, you first sell the product. And then I said, but I have a vision. I'm convinced. He said, I wish you good luck. That's what he told me. But I'm still here. So I think I'm doing good. But yeah, I think it is a very high risk, of course. If you sold the product, it's easier to start off. So those things definitely. And I think as an entrepreneur, as I said, you shouldn't listen too much to too many people. You have to be convinced. You do your research, but once you go for it, you just go and you don't look back. And you just
Interesting. And Nick, what about you? What is your we'll
Final
wrap
words?
up with Nick.
Yeah.
I think we also running out of time.
Okay, so when you come to UAE, find a job, don't waste time, hustle at the same time. Start as soon as you possibly can. Find a job so you get the whole, the city, get a feeling, but be very fast. Don't care about anything else. Start it, network, push it. Yeah. And if I could turn back time, I would have started way earlier, would have cared way less. And basically, as cheesy as it sounds, but have faith. It will it will be done in a way or the other. So get a job, get to know the city, get a network, start, fail as fast as possible, and be very modest. Don't spend money, don't go to parties, nothing. Just do your job so you have your food and bread and a shelter, and go hustle, work on it regardless of anything else. That just go.
And you know, I met one of my friend recently. He came from Silicon Valley. He used to work for Facebook, and he said, I wanted to start my next venture in Middle East. I was like, why? You know, why that? And he said, no, I wanted to catch the train early on. So there's so many opportunities in this part of the world, and it's so easy to do.
It's even attracting
business.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah. So this is an interesting story.
It is.
But look, it's always the hardest thing and the easiest thing. It's literally, when I came to Dubai, it was like, no, okay, this is hell, which means it's completely different, or this is the opportunity. It's completely different, so I can add. So it's literally like that. Be fast, start early, don't care about anything else.
Awesome. We'll wrap up. I hope this podcast will be helpful to a lot of founders who are looking to come here. And thank you, everyone, for joining today.
Thank you for calling us.
Thank you for hosting us.
Thank you for having the nerves to call us.
The nerves.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's been a pleasure.